Live and direct. Live and direct. What we got going on tonight, y'all? Did y'all catch us on the Erica Williams show? D abandoned me. She wasn't even there. Mm-mm-mm. Sad, sad day in the women in Linux state. Mm-mm-mm. Shout out to Sheen Shane. Yes, I do think sometimes I'm ahead of the curve. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes, yeah, I do. Um, Shout out to D. We'll give her a shout out today. This fine n- evening night. Miss AK, how are you? It's Taylor Sadie. Did y'all see? They're gonna be crying about it, but you saw that Spellman got a 100 million from the Striker family out of the trust. 100 million out of the trust. Right? Not out of their pockets like that, but out of the trust. Let me look it up. Mm. Trustee Rhonda E. Stryker. Rhonda Stryker is a member of the Harvard Medical School Board of Fellows, serves on the board of directors of the Stryker Corporation, and is vice chair of Greenleaf Trust. $100 million gift. Thank you, Bobby Axelrod. $100 million. The next question is gonna come out. People are gonna argue about how did that help the black family. That's what they're gonna say. How does that help the black family? Ouch. Want me to tell you how it's gonna help the black family? D, you think they want to know? I think they want to know. If you didn't want to know, I'm gonna tell you anyway. Um, how does that help the black family? It goes back to what I stated before. I don't know what you thought this was. I don't know who y'all picking, but you better pick somebody that can read and do math. And so I hope you picking somebody that's smart enough to help the children in the household or in the family to do some algebra, some multiplication, some new math so they could go ahead and graduate. I hope you don't pick someone that be like, girl, I don't know. After 4 quarters, I don't know. After you add up 4 quarters, I don't know. Right? So that's how it would help your family. Some education. But 100 million. They gave them 100 million. Billionaires Rhonda Stryker and William Johnston will donate 100 million to the Women's College. Stryker is a member of the Harvard Medical Board of Fellows and a member of the College Boards of Trustees. She is also the granddaughter of the founder of the Stryker Corporation. She is a granddaughter, so there is generational wealth being passed down. Yep, they do have the largest. Yep. A medical, and she's also the granddaughter or founder of Stryker and a medical device company. Her husband, Johnston, is the founder and board and chairman of Greenleaf Trust, a wealth management firm in Michigan. Wealth management, right? Spellman is a private liberal arts school. Let's be clear between Spellman. Let me tell you who else benefits for this. Let's be clear. Georgia Tech benefits from this as well too. You ain't like Tamika how? Because Spellman and Morehouse and Clark have a partnership with other engineering schools for you to attend to get your engineering degree. So they have partnerships. So you don't just attend Spellman the whole time and get your engineering degree. You also, depending on which school you go to, because there are other schools, but just for the sake of argument, we just sticking to Atlanta. You partner with Georgia Tech as well too. So what happens when that money starts circulating in the city? What happens when those people graduate and get jobs and start circulating money in the city? All right. It says the college has received other significantly large donations in the past, including 10 million donation last February from Rosemary K and John W. Brown to support the construction of Mary Schmidt Campbell PhD Center of Innovation and Arts, which is scheduled to open this fall. Most of the Striker and Johnston's donation 75 million will fund endowed scholarships for future students, while 25 million will be used to develop an academic focus on public policy, democracy, improve student housing, and provide flexible funding to meet critical strategic needs, according to the statement. This is going to be on YouTube really soon, if not already, how this is going to destroy the black family, how it's going to destroy uh, the nuclear family, and how it's going to keep black women not feminine, fit, and submissive. That is going to be the thing. I'm telling you, that's going to be the thing. It's going to also be the thing that it's going to keep black women single, and that they're going to die, get a dog now, and die alone. That's going to be the thing. Just be on the lookout for it. Just warning you. Let me just humor myself for a minute here. Just humor myself for a minute. 100 million to Spellman. I just want to humor myself. Let's see what we're pulling back. Got Roland Martin talking about it. Roland Martin. There we go, right there. Anton Daniels talking about it. Mm, I'm just looking to see who else is talking about it. All right, we're starting to get 3 years ago. It ain't picked up yet. Let me just look up 100 million HBCU. I just want to see who's picking up what. See what kind of hits we getting. Yeah, nothing yet. I just saw one so far. I'm sure there's some other hashtags out there that'll be coming. I just know that's how the cookie crumbles. That's just how it works. That's just how it works, people. That's episode 25. Well, episode 26, but welcome to Foolish Finance Fridays, episode 26. How is economic and educational progress keep how it you listen, I'm telling you. Telling you, it is going to be a topic. It is always a topic. It is always a topic. It's just is. It fascinates me though. It really does. It fascinates me. It fascinates me because I don't know what the expectation is. If I was the young chick growing up right now, if I was a young chick growing up right now, if I was like, I don't know, probably like 18 to 25, I'd be so confused. Even if I had a father in the home, which I think people don't really realize, like, even though you have a dad in the home, you still have friends and you still watch how other people conduct themselves and interact. You still interact with other human beings outside of your family, your father, your mother. And so you start to pick up little nuances from people and things they say and do and where they go and hang out at and try. You just you just do. It's not that you're mimicking them. You're like, oh, they look like they enjoyed that. It's just like somebody recommend a restaurant to you. Oh, they said that was really good. We should give them a try. Let's go try them out. And you just go try it out, right? So I think the 18 to 25-year old on both sides of the message for me and for young adults is very confusing. One minute is she shouldn't have a job. The next minute it's 50-50, and the next minute she should have a job. And then one minute it's men are simps, and then if they're not a simp, they're not an alpha. Or if he's not an alpha, he's a o. Was it? Is it an omega or a sigma? One of them. And I was like, man, don't nobody even know. I'm like, I don't even know. I like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't look at a guy when I walk out and meet guys, and look at him and be like, oh, he an alpha man. I be like, oh, he got a receding hairline. Oh, he don't have all his teeth. Like, I don't know. He said, I don't know any other group that complains about progress of his women like the black community. Luckily, most black women give a damn about BC because I be peace out. Yeah, it's yeah. I'm like he beta, he simp. I'm like I don't. I'm not looking at that when I meet a guy. I mean, let me know if that's what y'all do. Cause I mean, when I meet a guy, I'm just looking. I just, I'm just looking to see if he got all his teeth first. do did he come with are those his teeth? Now I'm starting to look like are those his original teeth? Cause y'all be going out getting your teeth done, and I be like, man, is I'm like, I be feeling bad. I be like, I think I need to go get my teeth done. And then I go look in the mirror. I'm like, but now my teeth straight. My teeth are vertical. But my teeth ain't doing like this. My teeth ain't put your hands up. They ain't doing all of that. Like, no, I don't think it'll destroy the black family. Notary, I don't know why that is. I've listen. From my perspective, the way things sound, I'm not being trying to be disrespectful, but the way things sound, it sound like you should just go to the homeless shelter and Pick a woman up out of the homeless shelter. Like, you don't want her to work, you don't want her to have no kids, you don't want her to have this, you don't want to have that, you don't want this, you don't want that. I mean, like, they'd be more than happy to cook and clean. More than happy. I don't know. That's just my thought process. And no, I think it's Komai 27. No, I don't think it would destroy the black family. Not at all. But I do think the messaging will be that that 100 million will destroy the black family. I do think that. I do think that's going to be the next message. It just ain't picked up yet. But I do think that would be the next message. All right. So, Foolish Finance Fridays. All right. Episode, I thought we was on episode like 40 or 50. He was like, nah, I know we still in the 20s. We're still in the 20s. Mm, we got to do better. We got to have more Foolish Finance Fridays. You said what black family? Any black family that you think is a black family? I don't know. Right. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. People mad at dinks, dual income, no kids. They mad at them. They calling them selfish. I mean, like, everybody get a label these days. Whatever. So, if you didn't catch last week's show, Foolish Finance Fridays, you should go back and watch last week's show. Check it out. We had a good time with Demarcus and Tydrika. Tydrika and the sentencing and so forth. I don't know if we watched this one, but I want to wait till we get into that show. I want to pull up some other stuff first. I don't want to go into the show just yet. I mean, well, that particular part of the show. I want I want to talk about some other stuff. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things. All right, let's get into some foolish finance off the rip. And then we got a video to watch. All right. First up, Market Watch articles. I can't afford to keep paying for two households. My adult sons live rent free in my house while I pay 50% of the utilities in my second husband's condo. I don't know how to get my boys out of my house so I can clean it up, stage it, and list it for sale. In 2007, my now ex-husband and I bought a home where we lived as a family with our two boys for just a few years before we divorced in 2009. I refinanced the house in my name and have paid the mortgage and the utilities as a single parent ever since. So that's since 2009. We are in 2024. She's been paying the mortgage and the utilities. In 2016, I met and started dating a man. We lived apart and only about 10 to 15 minutes from each other. In 2021, after I battled cancer, he proposed and I accepted. Since we only lived a few minutes apart, I stayed at my husband's two-bedroom condo Thursday and Sunday and spent Sunday through Thursday at my house. See, let me make sure I said it right. I stayed at my husband's condo Thursday through Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then spent Sunday through Thursday at my house while I worked from home. I did this for years. My oldest son moved back in with me in 2021. He graduated high school in 2017. And I gave him a gap year living at my house to decide on his next move, after which he moved out and started his career. He lived on his own for a year and then lived with my parents for a year. He met a girl, they signed a lease, and then the pandemic hit. And after their lease was up, they broke up and he decided to go back to college full time. I agreed that he could live in my home while he attended college. His tuition is covered by grants and in the 529 fund his grandmother set up for him. In 2022, my then boyfriend and I married. However, we still didn't move in together full time as I still had my house and my youngest son had not graduated from high school. I wanted to be home with him. My youngest son is 19, graduated from high school in 2023. Later that summer, I moved out of my house to stay with my husband full time. I pay 50% of the expenses living with my husband and 100% of the expenses where my boys live. So she got two grown boys that live in the house and she pay all the expenses, the mortgage and the utilities, and 50% in the husband home. So all her money is gone. I wonder if she got any money for retirement. All right, let's go. I keep both households going so my youngest could have a gap year on his own, another gap year. He should have been working. And to cushion my oldest, whom I really didn't think would go to college while he attended his studies. They are young and finding their way. They're so young and finding their way. Let a girl be at home at 18. What you doing here? You need to get up. Ain't no man gonna ever want nothing. You ain't gonna never get nobody like this. You lazy. Just da. Yeah, yeah. Woo, woo. Girls be like, girl, if you don't shut up. D in the background, stressed out now. All right, so whom I really didn't think would go to college while he attended studies. They are young and finding their way. I wanted to give them support. I felt like they needed, but here we are in 2024, and I can't afford to keep up both households running without impacting my ability to save for retirement. There's no way she's saving for retirement. So she over here 50-50 with her new husband and 100% with her two husband sons. She's 150% gone. She's not saving for retirement. All right. Here's my dilemma. I don't know how to get the boys out my house. I do. Sell it. Sell it. Or she can do this. Drop a lease on them motherfuckers. Drop a lease on them. You get a lease and you get a lease. You want to rent? You want to be here? You rent. You buy, you pay. You break it, you pay. Right? So she said we live in an area where the average two-bedroom apartment rents for 1,800. My youngest works full time. His passion for BMWs and makes about 2,400 a month. All right. Drop 1,000 on it, bro. 900. My oldest works part time in retail and makes about 1,000 a month while he attends college. They both work within 3 miles of my home. They simply can't afford to move out. Oh, they can afford to move out. If they not paying rent, why they can't? To complicate matters, I have $100,000 in equity in that house, and I like to use it to pay off some small debts and buy a car, as well as put the rest in retirement. But my mother, who has had a long successful career in real estate thinks I should wait it out and let my equity continue to build, giving the boys some cushion while they're still finding their way. You're out here. You're finding your way. Oh, so wonderful. You're so wonderful. Do I shop around and find them an apartment, help them set up utilities and help them with movers? Do we build a project plan with a deadline or just keep looking for places and hope that they would eventually find one? Do I subsidize their monthly expenses and give them $400 a month for utilities if they could cover the rent? I know this probably is easy for other people, but I am at a loss as to how and when to do this. We all feel stuck and scared and anxious. Drop in the comments what you think she should do. Coda Evelyn, you say don't sell the current husband, get 50% of the amount so she could rent out the home. Well, she could. She might want to sell. He don't get 50% unless they divorce. Now, when they go to divorce and them kids still in there, he might could get a little something, something. Drop in the comments what you think she should do. Let's go. All right. The longer you support your two adult sons, the longer they will lean on you and need you as their personal ATM. You brought them over the finish line and then some. You raised them, educated them, fed, clothed, and housed them. Now you're paying for electricity and other bills. And they got girlfriends coming over too. So she paying for them too, right? Now you're paying for electricity and other bills. It's time your sons to stand on their own 2 feet. My Irish mother would say, cut their cloth according to the measure. On the subject of mothers, listen to your own. If you can rent your home, pay the mortgage and wait for the value to increase, do that. Your mother works in real estate and knows what she's talking about. Real estate is in an ideal world is a long-term gain. It's time for your sons to downsize to a small apartment and efficiency. They should get into efficiency and get a blow up bed in that efficiency. All right, and experience the joys of paying their own way and standing on their own 2 feet. You need to cut the cord. Yeah, she playing for Netflix and chill. Act with integrity and intention. The best way to make a big move, and this is probably a big move emotionally as it is financially, is to prepare. Sit down with your sons and an independent financial advisor and do a forensic accounting on their income. And listen now, we starting to hear now, do forensic accounting on their income. Before we would say you wouldn't hear this in conversations or responses, but now we're starting to hear that. Peep game. All right, for risen account of their income and expenditure and where they spend their money. I almost guarantee you that their subsidized lifestyle lends itself to spending money in areas where they could easily cut back. There's an underlying feeling of guilt in your letter. Have you done enough? Yes. Should you do more? No. And you have done plenty, and you're now putting your sons before your own financial peace of mind and retirement. Does it make you a bad person or an unfeeling one if you decide to cut them off? Of course not. Quite the contrary. You can lead by example by showing them what it means to make tough decisions and stick to them. When you have accounted for your son's income and expenditure, look at their rentals in the neighborhood or adjoining neighborhoods if need be. Why, if they got cars, why they can't go get something? Why they can't go get something that's cheap and drive in? The aim is for them to start taking responsibility for themselves. They do not need a two-bedroom apartment. Exactly. They can live in a one-bedroom condo and take turns sleeping on the sofa bed. This is the rite of passage, and it teaches young people the value of money and what it means to 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 take accountability for oneself. The share of the adult children in the U.S. living with their parents has steadily risen since the 1960s. In 2020, during the pandemic, one third of the children between 18 to 34 lived with their parents as non caregivers. 18 to 34. Men and 18 to 34-year-olds respectively were more likely to live at home than women from 25 to 34, right? But while the NBER found social benefits to living with children, with adult children, and that it does not necessarily delay retirement and benefits of providing your children with a head start for giving them somewhere to live, start to decline when your ability to save for retirement is impeded. And you're burning money supporting two households. This is also money you can put towards vacations and new cars and building a future with your husband. You deserve to enjoy life and put yourself first. Tell your sons you're ready. I'm ready. I love you. Let's do this. Now, notice he never said anything about the 50-50 with the ex-husband. Or not the ex-husband, but the current husband. The current husband was like, I don't give two squats about what's going on with you and them boys. But Annie up kidnap that fool. Annie up. You want to come over here? You want to lay up over here? It's gonna cost you. You want to lay over here? Lady, won't you lay? He hit her with the car Thomas. Sweet lady. He hit her with the car. Lady, won't you lay? He hit her with the car Thomas. Like, you coming over here 4 days out the week, you gotta pay half. She only there 4 days out the week. And she only there 4 days out the week and paying half the mortgage and utilities. That's a good deal. She can come lay up over here in my house. I put her on the sofa. She can come lay up right now on the sofa. Pay the mortgage, pay half the mortgage and the bills. That's a good deal. She can lay on the sofa. I make sure she got water, crackers, some soup. I make sure she got the basics so she don't die or nothing like that. She can lay on the sofa. I'm just saying. All right, let's go. Next article. I thought this was a dumb one. I thought this was a dumb one. Cuddles. All right, I thought this was a dumb one. I want my son to inherit my $1.2 million home. Should I leave it to my second husband in my will? He promised to pass it on. I'm gonna read it again because that sounded stupid when I read it. But I'm just gonna read it again on this Triple F Friday. I want my son to inherit my $1.2 million house. Should I leave it to my second husband in my will? He promised to pass it on. Now, if you know, like we know here on Foolish Finance Friday, whoever you want to have it, you don't give it to the person that's promising to do something for you. Like that, make it make sense. You need a drink for this one? Want to talk about it? Here you go. Yeah, I sure do put it in a trust. All right, let's go. All right. My husband and I signed a prenuptial agreement before we married. This is my second marriage, his first. He has no children. I have one child who was an adult when we married, so there was no need for my current husband to adopt him. My husband and I live in a home that I purchased and maintained with my separate property. Read it again. My husband and I live in a home that I purchased and maintain with my separate property. So she got a home that she done purchased and he done moved in. I have been careful to pay for all the mortgage and maintenance myself to make sure there's no question that this is my separate property. Smart. I like. Because if he pays for the upgrades and he done moved in, he can force her to sell and get half. Let's see what the prenup talking about. All right. After I die, my trust directs that my husband gets the house, currently worth a net worth of 1.2 million after deducting the outstanding mortgage from its market value, and my child gets the rest of my assets, which are around 1.2 million. She can come live on my sofa. Hey, all these old rich grannies out here just looking. He done moved in the house. This is 2.4 million right here. All right, let's go. My husband will also get monthly payments from my pension as a survivor and beneficiary, which will more than cover the monthly mortgage payments. So my husband, in effect, be paying the mortgage from the funds I provide even after my death. I would like the house to be given to my son after my husband passes. Oh, so you want your husband to give it to him after he dead? Oh, she's smoking. I'm gonna read that again. I would like my house to be giving back to my son after my husband passes. Why don't she just give the son the house and give the guy the 1.2 million? He gonna be living in there with the new wife and everything, girlfriend, wife, all of that. All right. Not a blood relative. Okay. He is, after all, my son's stepfather, but he is not a blood relative. Would the house be considered an inheritance? If my son were to sell the house, would it have a step up in cost basis, just as it would if I left the house to him directly? Or would my husband leaving the house to my son be akin to a stranger bequeathing the house to him? D, come pour us a drink. All right, let's go. I know I can rewrite my trust to give my husband use of the house while he is alive and then pass it to my son upon his death. But that forces my husband to live in the house until his death. He may wish to move elsewhere after he retires. What I wish to avoid is his leaving the house to a spouse he remarries after my passing. You can't control what people do in your girl. Put that house in a trust or a foundation, and and turn it into like a group home or something like that, and let people use it, and put that money that you make off that group home go back into that trust. Is this a younger man, older woman situation? I don't know. I just know she got a lot of money. She over here worrying about bequeathing. She over here worried about bequeathing. All right. It says if I rewrite my trust to allow my husband to live in the home to until his death, at which time it passes to my son, what are his options and what happens to the house if he chooses to live in another state? Can he rent it out to provide him with an income to pay for housing wherever he goes? I suppose I could stipulate this in my trust. Let's go. Alas, you're trying to be too many things to too many people. Thank you. Let's start there. Set out your own goals with your estate planning in order of priority. You will have to make some kind of compromise along the way. And from what you say in your letter, your son is your number one priority. From an inheritance point of view, even though you wish to make your husband even though you wish to make sure that your husband has a roof over his head, girl, drop him $100,000 in there and let him go put that on the down payment on what he at whatever he want. Get that money, get that house to your son. Leave that 1.2 million in the trust. Get him some income out of that trust because he could be a beneficiary out of that trust and he can have a monthly stipend. You can, if you really, really feeling like you gotta set your ex-husband up for success, you can have him an income coming out of there, out of that trust as well too. That trust that he could get an income, she could even set it up where he get $100,000, and then she could even set it up that where he get a stipend for the next five to 10 years or something like that. I don't know, probably like 2,000, 5,000 a month or something like that, so he can go live comfortably and keep that thing pushing. And she can say, okay, well, we're gonna give him $5,000 for the next 5 years. And she can, what's that, 60,000? So 60,000 times five, she can give him $350,000 for the next 5 years. And he can go bequeath and do whatever, bequeath and marry whoever, remarry whoever he want, and keep it pushing. She ain't got to give him 1.2 million. I'm just saying. That's if she feeling generous like that. All right. You're going to, it says you will have to make some kind of compromise along the way. And from what it sounds like, your son is your number one priority, even though you wish to make sure your husband has a roof over his head. You're going through great pains to ensure your 1.2 million home is not commingled with your marital assets in the event that you are divorced, and yet still plan to leave it to your second husband in your will. Right. You doing through all this to make sure that he don't pay for stuff in the house. But because if y'all go through the divorce, he can ask for half of the house, but yet still you want to leave the house to him. So you make sure you pay all the bills in the house. So he don't pay nothing. He ain't paying nothing in the house. He ain't paying no mortgage. He ain't doing nothing. I can't with y'all. All right. So, and it says, and yet still plan to leave it to your second husband in your will. Ultimately, you want your son to inherit your entire estate while ensuring that your second husband lives financially independent life after you're gone. In order to do that, you have to cut yourself some slack. Situations change, relationships crumble, people marry, and those spouses often come with their own power and influence. Your husband and son could fall out, or he or a new spouse could fall on hard times and need money for long-term care or medical expenses. That house could become a lucrative source of income. Trust and wills cannot be all things to all people. Let me read that again. Trust and wills cannot be all things to all people. Allow your husband to live in your home for the remainder of his life as a tenant for life. Making sure to specify that he must take care of the property taxes and upkeep of the property. But you're asking for trouble by allowing your husband to have his cake and eat it, by allowing him to live in the house and sell it. Make it make sense, dear African American baby Jesus. She ain't talking to African American baby Jesus. She's not talking to him. He would have slapped her with a wet washcloth. Step up basis. So what if you did leave your house to your husband? with the hope and promise that he would keep his word and leave it to your son after he dies. Stepchildren are not ordinarily regarded as legal heirs under the law unless they are formally adopted or included in the beneficiary designations, trust, gifts, or last will and testament. Check with your tax lawyer in your state. It's complicated. An heir does not have to be a biological descent to receive a step up basis, according to a lawyer. The property in question must be included as part of the descendant's estate. Qualifying for the step up basis is the step up in basis doesn't have anything to do with the relationship or the individual. As a side, there are wrinkles in the step up rule for married couples depending on where they live. For example, if you own the house jointly with your second husband, he will receive a step up in basis, but likely only on half the value of the house. However, if you lived in a community property state, he would receive a full step up. This also assumes that you predeceased your husband. It's actually more likely that your husband would die before you. Between 25% to 50% of the men outlive their wives, according to the global study spanning 200 years by BMJ, a peer reviewed open access medical journal. Indeed, women tend to outlive men by 5 or 6 years. Creating an estate plan or a solid one that needs no room for maneuver. I'm not I'm not leaving the house that I want to have for my my son back to him. I mean back to my ex-husband. I ain't doing it. That's what I'm not doing. All right. I'm not gonna read this one. I'll do this one next week, maybe. But I'm gonna just give you the title on it. I feel slighted. I think this one I talked about this before. And my husband and I are in our 70s. There was an update to this story. We married 3 years ago. He is leaving his 1.8 million home to a relative. Is that normal? There's an update to this. I won't read it this week. I won't read that one this week, but there's an update to this one. Right? The question is it normal? Is it normal? All right, so let me take my headphones off here so we can. Nah, D, we ain't reading now. All right. So in good old fashion, I had to bring back a court case. I don't know. I looked through the notes last week and I didn't see that I went over this. But we're gonna talk about it from the judge's perspective. He's 25 and he's in court and his mama is there in the courtroom. I like this judge because she just be up here like, ma'am, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, sit down. Till you learn how to address me, ma'am, sit down. Thank you, ma'am. All right, y'all ready? D, you ready? Oh yeah, make sure my sound up. All right, sound up. Let me make sure I'm in the right browser. I am. Oh, by the way, are y'all snowed in wherever y'all at? Put a one in the chat if y'all snowed in.
Wanted to share with the court was that he's been kind of proactive. So he said that he's completed some defensive driving courses, some anger management courses, and things like that. But we understand that the court's main concern is the alcohol. So if there is perhaps any sort of monitoring that Mr. King can have while he's out of jail, or perhaps testing, he would be agreeable to something like that. We just don't feel like him being in jail. I personally, I don't believe that he's going to be a danger. He's got the support of his grandmother, who's here in court with us today. Like I said, he's gainfully employed, and he does have a child, and he does have a lot to lose, and he understands that, especially having been in here.
Ms. Hahn, it's not necessarily that I think he's going to be a danger per se. The concern that I have is that he's gotten 2 subsequent charges, one of which definitely involves alcohol, since he got a DUI. And so all of these things coming into play, you can present all of this to me as the reason why I shouldn't put you in a jail, but none of that kept you from getting 2 subsequent charges after a DUI. I don't understand what's going on. Like now
She was like, I ain't got time for that BS.
supposed to feel bad. Oh, he's got a 2-year-old. Well, that was your choice. Nobody told you go out there and you got pending charges and your life is probably not stable and you out here having babies. I'm not a proponent of just willy-nilly having children and then using them to try and play on the court's heartstrings, because I feel like children deserve the absolute best that we can give them. And
yeah, I went through it to see if this was the one from last week. But let's go. I got another one, but let's go. No, why you don't want to act?
he just out here having them and then trying to figure it out on the back end. I'm not a proponent of that. And I see your grandmama sitting back there with her hands over her face, praying for you and everything. And I think that's a good thing. But I think that you need to take some personal responsibility. You're 25, you've chosen to have a child and become a parent, but you also have committed, allegedly, you have 3 different pending cases, not charges. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pending charges before the court, and over the course of 2 years. And so I don't understand why I should now let you out again and risk you getting another charge. Because if you stay in jail, you'll come up next on the trial calendar. We can go ahead and try these cases and get them done. We can try them back to back to back.
So, one second.
She trying to fight for him. I couldn't be in this position as a public defender. I couldn't be in this position because what the judge is saying is you had a DUI. Then after you got that DUI, you got 2 more cases against you for something else that you did, and prior to that, you got 6 accounts against you before that. So why I need to let you back out? You don't like being outside. You want to be inside. You want to be told what to do, and you want to be inside. You want to be told what to do, and you want to be inside. And you got a child. Ain't no killing how much money you missing. You about to lose your job. you about to lose your job. And you don't want to do nothing else. You want to be inside. So the judge was like, listen, we can go and speed this thing up so you can get back to where you want to be. Why I need to let you out? Get back to where you want to be. Stay where you at. I'm just saying.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
If I could just say one last thing on behalf of Mr. King. Your Honor, obviously we still would like for him to be released, but I know that Your Honor is concerned about alcohol. Mr. King hasn't had any infractions involving alcohol or any issues with alcohol, at least since April of 2022. So it's going on almost 2 years.
August of 2022.
Well, I think the last case involving alcohol, Your Honor, was the one ending in 0297 is my understanding.
You go tell me he was stone cold sober when he went over there to the same person from the April incident? All right, I'm gonna let you have that one.
Thank you, Your Honor. But so, Your Honor, Mr. King and his grandmother was also kind of chiming in as well, and let me know that there aren't any concerns, at least we don't believe that there are any concerns that the court should have about alcohol.
All right, so I'm gonna pause right there. I want to hear from the fellas. Fellas, is it? Oh, would you let your guy friend go to court with his hair like that? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Would you let him go to court with his hair like that? Is that a good representation? He trying to get off. He trying to get back home. I'm just asking. I ain't, I'm just asking. You let him go to court. Cash said yes. I'm just asking. D, you letting him go to court like that? No haircut can save you from stupid. Mm, mm, yeah and no. Yeah and no. I'm just asking. Let's go.
He's kind of been on the straight and narrow for over the last year, and so we would like the opportunity for him to get out of jail and kind of fight these charges from the outside, because he does maintain with me that he's not guilty on all of the cases. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain to him as to why we won't go into the details of that here today as to what happened in each of those cases. But without doing that, he does want the court to release him.
All right. If I release him, he's gonna test every 2 weeks for substances. If he misses a test, he comes back to jail. If he tests positive, he comes back to jail.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, draw up the order.
Thank you.
He'll go to he'll make an appointment with the probation office and he'll test every 2 weeks. He misses if he misses a test, he's coming back to jail. If he tests positive, he's coming back to jail for any.
How long does alcohol sit in your system? For every 2 weeks? And what test are they testing for? Because if I get something to drink on Monday and I go in 2 more weeks, is it gonna be there? How long is alcohol in the actual? Are they doing a? What are they doing? A blood test? See, 12 hours. Shit, he can drink. He can drink every day. That's not a good. That's not a good thing. The BAC test, blood alcohol concentration. This test can find alcohol in your blood for up to 12 hours after drinking. That's what I thought. Alcohol don't stay in your system long. 24 hours. So if he got a test on that Wednesday, he can go out drinking Saturday and Sunday. That's not a good thing. And how long he gotta have that for? That's not a good. That's not a good thing. I don't like it because he can get another DUI. Yeah, he not. Yeah, he not. He. I mean, and that ain't helping him. Alcohol stays in the bloodstream typically 6 to 12 hours. Factors such as metabolism, body weight, genetics, overall health, and so forth. It says blood tests can show heavy drinking, but within certain time frames. A BEC test can show drinking within 6 to 12 hours. A CDT test can show heavy drinking with drinking in a 2 to 3 week window. Now she's giving him two. If she's doing a CDT test and they giving it to him every 2 weeks, that CDT test is going to be it'll be in a 2 to 3 week window. So that's better. That make more sense to me. So fellas and ladies, if you're trying to figure out whether or not your spouse has stopped drinking, get them a CDT test. CDT. Okay? CDT alcohol test. CDT quantification is useful in detecting abusive alcohol consumption and more specific marker for alcohol exposure other than available markers. CDT. However, to obtain a positive CDT result, an increase in alcohol intake for longer than 2 to 4 weeks prior to the test is required. Yeah, they had to get him. They random, but she would have to be giving him this CDT test. Let's see. Let's see. Do the courts give CDT test for alcohol? Let's see what the courts give. Blood alcohol testing for court and legal. So they do this is in the UK right here. They do hair. How long does the blood how long does alcohol stay in the hair? Blood alcohol testing is usually in a combination of hair alcohol tests for the court to prove abstinence from alcohol. Well, how long does alcohol stay in the hair? 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. All right, we working with something now that makes sense. Now that makes sense. All right, so we got the CDT test, and then we got the hair test. So he got all that hair up there. 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. All right, so are we comfortable now? Cause that little test that little punk ass other test that wasn't gonna do nothing. Let's go.
Substance, alcohol, or anything else.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. We can go back with the sheriff's office, Mr. King. He's not to have any contact, no contact, not social media, not text message, phone, nothing with Frazier, KN Frazier. Any contact with her, he comes back to jail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's the baby mama, I take it.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Okay, no, still, because I'm assuming that he hasn't married this woman or legitimized that child.
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
We're gonna start doing stuff the right way. Until those things happen, he is not the legal parent of that child. If folks just want to come out here and just be having babies, that's on them. But understand the situation it puts you in when you don't have those things in place. And so, no, he's not to have any contact with the baby, not through the grandmother. The grandmother can't call her. No, y'all can't see the baby unless unless the Superior Court of Clayton County or the court where the baby resides decides that there's a visitation that has been set up due to a legitimation petition that has been filed. So this is the sacrifice you're gonna make. When we start doing things the right way, then we don't have these issues. But no contact with Kay and Frazier or the child of Kay and Frazier. No, Grandma, no. Come on up, ma'am. See, your grandson is in this situation because somebody's always taking up for him and he's not getting responsibility for the things he's doing.
I understand that, Your Honor, and thank you for allowing me to speak. But what we did, his mother and I, when they were having their spats, we only go pick up the baby now, or me or his mother.
And you shouldn't have to do that because they should be grown enough. If they're grown enough to have a baby, they should be grown enough to co-parent. But anytime the grandmama and the mama have to get involved in transporting the baby because they can't get along, that tells me that they're immature and shouldn't have had the baby in the first place. So he needs to grow up. And no, I'm not going to facilitate that. No, ma'am.
Well, actually, it was his idea.
I don't care.
Not to have the interaction.
I don't care. He had a baby with that woman. If he can't now co-parent with her, that tells me something about the fact that they shouldn't have even had a baby together. So no, y'all can't have any contact with her until such time as that baby is legitimized through the courts.
And what court do you do that?
Superior Court. And that's not your job, ma'am. That's his job.
I just like to have the information.
I get that, but we are
I can watch these all day long. Ma'am, that's not your job. That's not your job. Sit down, granny. That ain't your job. That's not your. It's him and her, and it's really on him. And yes, down to earth, they go to the four. They do their hair samples. I've had a hair sample done. They were like, you shaved all the hair off your head and you shaved all the hair out. They will look for hair. They will look for hair. They would look for it. They get it any way they can. Let me check you down there. They'll pull it from down there too. You falling in love, Cash?
and trifling men. We're doing so much for them that we're not raising men. We're raising little boys that some other woman is going to be burdened with taking care of. Even when if he gets back with Kay and Frazier, she going to have to do everything for him because you and his mama are coddling him. There was a time in this country where once you left your parents' house, you were responsible and you had to make your way and be.
All right, how old were y'all when y'all left your parents' house? And some of you may have moved back, and it's okay. Because some parents are older. What age was it when y'all left your parents' house? How old were you when you left? I know most of the girls gonna be like 18, 19. The girls was like, my mama crazy. I'm up out of this piece.
Responsible. Every successful person I know, including myself, you get from your parents instructions when you finish high school. Hey, you I don't know what you're gonna do. College, military, work, but you can't live here. And we are so busy coddling. I know he has a place now, but we're so busy coddling, especially young men. We seem to be wanting to raise women to be responsible. You got to go out and get a job. You got to do this. You got to do that. But parents continue to coddle these young men. And so they end up not being responsible for themselves or anybody else. He's a parent now, so he's grown. So anything that happens on his behalf or his child's behalf, he has to handle it. Y'all need to stop stepping in.
I respect what you just said, but in the case,
no buts.
He stepped in and just take care of her. daughter that is 4.
So
And my family and everybody that knows him respects him as a good father. So I cannot let it be said that he's not a good parent.
I didn't say he wasn't a good parent. I said they weren't mature enough to co-parent.
I recognize that.
Yeah, what she heard was you trying to say that my grandson ain't good. You trying to, she heard everything. She heard everything else. She heard what she wanted to hear. She interpreted the way she wanted to hear it. She was like, "Oh no, my grandbaby. Nah. They may not get along, but we see about that baby, and he taking care. How he taking care of the 4-year-old." Her 4-year-old, if he can't even take care of the one they got together. How that happen?
But I do want it to be on record that he is.
No, I didn't say he wasn't a good parent, and there is a path to him being able to parent his child. I told you what it is. But what I'm saying to you is you and his mama can't live his life for him. And as long as y'all are doing for him, then he won't be able to do for himself.
Thank you for that, Your Honor.
I'm just saying, you recognize what I'm saying. When you left your parents' house, how old were you?
18.
And did they say you never went back, did you?
Never went back.
Okay, this man is 25, and I'm gonna tell you what my grandmother said. My grandmother raised 13 children, and you know what she said? She said, I have never had to stand bond for any of them. But you know what she also said? If you do something, don't call me. She's right. I raised you to be responsible. I raised you to do the things that you should know how to do. And so of her 13 children, none of them had to stand in a courtroom or come get them or call my grandfather to come get them because I've raised you. So now you're on your own to be responsible the way I taught you to be. And we have gotten so far away from that. We got kids now telling their parents off, taking their parents' vehicles, hitting and interacting with their parents in such negative ways. But at a minimum, we're not raising children to be responsible. At 18, your parents said, that's it. And you went out and you made your way. And you look reasonably successful. Now, I don't know.
Now, what I do disagree with, I think we do need to hold the strings back a little bit more on the 18. I do. I think some times we need to hold back and not force them to go out there, get credit card debt, whatever. But that's only for the ones that you know that's trying. Now, if you getting up and you like, I'm finna steal my mama car and I'm about to go joyriding and I got my boyfriend coming over and he finna lay up with me in the house with you and your mama don't know and you sneaking, no, you need to go. It's time to go, my G. This ain't the Super 8. This ain't the Super 8. I do think that need to happen. But I do think we need to prepare children before they step out, right? Some financial advice, a get it started kit. I don't know, whatever you want to put in that get it started kit, whatever that look like, before you run out there and hit a brick wall, or a brick wall just fall on you. Sometimes the brick wall you don't even hit it; it just fall on you. Trust me. Let's go.
But you don't look like you're struggling. And what I'm telling you is, until you let somebody get out there and do what they need to do, and you're looking at me in this role, but I'm gonna tell you right now, when I went to college, my parents was like, okay, you made it into college. All those student loans, I had to pay. When I went to law school, I had to pay. I was working 2 jobs in college and going to school. 2 jobs and going to school. There have been other times in my life when I worked 2 jobs and gone to school. So what I'm saying to you is he can do if y'all step out of the way and make him do it. But don't keep coddling him, and we gonna facilitate seeing the baby, and we gonna make sure, because y'all can't co-parent, because y'all fighting each other, that we gonna make it easy to go back and forth. Go to court. He can go to court, set up a visitation schedule, and get a superior court judge to determine how this is gonna happen. But in all things, he's gonna be a parent for the rest of his life. So if he can't get it right now at the beginning, when it's easy, it's not gonna get any easier.
And he need to legitimize that child. But he signed the birth certificate. The child is not legitimized.
It's not.
And with all due respect, Your Honor, I don't condone. I didn't help you get into a mess. I can't help you get out, but I do support helping you through it. That's the way I look at it with my kids and my grandkids.
I got you. But what I'm saying to you is, remember how you made it. And people think it's harsh. But when your parents said, you 18 now, you on your own, you might have struggled. But right now, if you face with any situation in your life, you're going to figure out how to get it, how to make it work. Because you've had that experience. We don't let our kids struggle. So when they get out there, the first thing they're going to do is turn back to mama. Well, what am I going to do now? Well, if you struggled when you first got out there and made your way and realized you got to work, you got to pay bills, you got to find a place to stay, you got to maintain a place to stay.
Now let's ask this question. How many of y'all have struggled when you first moved out? What did y'all go work at? I worked at Wendy's. What did y'all go work at? Y'all went and worked at Popeyes? You went and worked at Crystal's? Did you go work at Pizza Hut? Domino's? Remember when you thought you were fancy and you was like, oh, I'm working for Domino's and you delivering the pizzas? You were fancy. You were like, oh, you work at Domino's and you deliver? I see you. Okay, you deliver. Okay. Deliverati. Okay. Sonic. Look, say that I can tell you young. You said Sonic. say that you young. We ain't have Sonic. Group home. I ain't mad. Group homes. Uh, working at retail. Who worked at Express? Who worked at Express? What about bakers? Anybody work at bakers? Payless? McDonald's? Anybody work at Applebee's? Who all worked at the grocery store? You know, the grocery store was never one place I saw myself working at. The grocery store was never one place I did not want to handle the cashier. I didn't see myself doing that. I may stock some shelves, but I didn't see myself handling being a cashier. That didn't look exciting to me. That didn't look exciting to me. It'd be interesting. Now here's a question. Here's a question. From where you were then to where you are now, do you feel accomplished? From where you were then to where you are now, do you feel accomplished? Fish and chips. Woo! I bet your mama hated you coming home smelling like fish and chips. Do you feel accomplished? From where you were to where you are now? And do you think from what you know then to what you know now, do you think that you can earn more? You understand life a little better. You understand people a little better. You understand how to interact with people. What are your thoughts? We'll get back to it, but what are your thoughts?
When you do those things, it makes you responsible and able to handle whatever challenge comes your way. But as long as the parents are stepping in and keeping these 20 something, I even give a little grace for the 20s, but the 30s, the 40s, I got parents who carrying these people on their back and they're coming in and raising discord in their households. We have got to stop coddling these young men. He went out there, he had a baby. So if he chosen to give up his 20s and his carefree lifestyle to be a parent, then he's got to do what it takes to do it right. And if that means going to court and legitimizing his child, getting the money up to do what he needs to do, then he needs to do that. But nobody's telling him to go out here and just have babies without thinking about the consequences of what that means.
So is the birth certificate not legitimate?
No, ma'am. I can't tell you because I don't do that kind of law. But what I can tell you is generally, no. You don't signing the birth certificate does not legitimize a child. It may be biologically acknowledged as his child, but under the law, no. Not until they were married at the time of the child's birth or within a certain period of time after the child's birth, or they go through the legitimation process in the superior court where the child resides.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, and I understand you and mama want to help him and y'all want to see the baby. Y'all might have to take some time, but y'all can't contact this woman on his behalf.
But we missed Christmas. I still have no stuff.
Okay, the baby will get it. The baby don't know it's Christmas. It's 2 year old. She'll get it when she gets it.
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome back, a small business owner fought
that cracked me up. That one cracked me up. You said no, you still pursuing the technical skills. If I could go back with the knowledge I know now, I'll be more accomplished. Yeah, we always say if we could go back, but sometimes going through what you're going through is a good thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think I did this one last week. This is the one I did last week. Where the mama showed up to court for the child. Did I do that one last week? Where the mama showed up to court for the son. I think I did that last week. It's another one that I watched. Where where the judge fined the girl. She was like, "Girl, ain't nobody got time for you." She just went ahead and fined her. She was like, "Contempt of court." Yeah, yeah. So you wanted them. Oh, she was like, "Oh yeah, you go ahead and do that. We're gonna hold you in contempt." I didn't finish watching this one, but let me pull this over. I didn't finish watching this one. I got I gotta go back and finish watching it, but we'll get started on it though. We'll get started on it though. Hold on. Let me let me pull it back. All right, let's go. Let's get my
So,
these
Ms.
my
Davis,
last.
let's not ever do that again. Let's never do that again. Ma'am, let's not ever do that again, including right now. So here's the first thing. We are going to only unmute when asked to do so by the court. Number two, the baby can't come to court. The baby can't come to court. Baby can't come to court. So let me say this to you. Do not unmute yourself again and talk to me like I'm some random stranger on the street, because it will not work out good for you. Now, I don't know why you just chose to do that, but let me be clear. As I am indicating, we are in court. If you cannot attend court because there's too much going on at your house, I'm in the building facility. And then I need to contact, what's funny? It's funny. Unmute yourself. What's funny? Unmute yourself. What's funny? What's funny?
I wasn't laughing, I was doing like this.
No, you weren't.
I was, man.
In 56 years, I know what laughing looks like.
I wasn't laughing, why would I be laughing? This is serious.
That's what I was thinking. In my mind, I was thinking, but what I do know is the difference between laughing and wiping your face. Ladies, please start your video.
Oh, this gonna be good. Y'all ready to laugh? Uh-oh.
Miss Davis, you're gonna have to probably put on a jacket, but hold on, please.
Down to earth, you silly. He talking like
Miss
he on the
Wilson, you got
plantation.
that camera real up close to you, but if you're not properly attired for court, you need to put on a jacket too. All right, I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. Your lawyer is not present yet. But while you're in the waiting room, please put on a jacket or change your top. This is, your lawyer is Mr. Wordbling. Okay, so I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room, Miss Wilson. Miss Davis, I'm gonna put you in the breakout room, and a lawyer will be in to speak with you shortly, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Please remain in the breakout room until the lawyer comes in to talk with you.
Okay, and then I can go put the.
No, you can put the jacket on while you're waiting for them to come in.
Okay, this is a dress. It's a dress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
She don't care about that. This a dress. You look naked to me.
Oh,
Put some clothes on.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm ready on Miss Davis, who wanted to say whatever she was saying. So let me assist Miss Davis.
And she no nonsense. The other lawyer behind, the other judge, want to talk to you. This one, she don't play no games.
So Miss Davis, let's not ever do that again. Let's never do that again. Ma'am, let's not ever do that again, including right now. So here's the first thing. We are going to only unmute when asked to do so by the court. Number two, the baby can't come to court. The baby can't come to court. Baby can't come to court. Number three, don't log in laying down, whether it's on a couch, in a chair, or whatever. So let me be clear. We're in court, and we're going to present as though we are in court. Otherwise, you have to physically come to court. So if we can't sit up straight, as if we're standing up straight at that podium, then you can't attend court on Zoom. Then you have to come and stand at the podium. So
Yes,
let me say this to you. Do not unmute yourself again and talk to me like I'm some random stranger on the street, because it will not work out good for you. Now, I don't know why you just chose to do that, but let me be clear. As I am indicating, we are in court. If you cannot attend court because there's too much going on at your house, I'm in the building. I'm at 36th District Court. The building is open for all defendants who have.
I'm in the building, and don't bring the baby to court. The baby is not on trial. You are. Ma'am, don't do that again. I don't know why you chose to do that then and now. Don't unmute. Ain't nobody asked you to say nothing. I need for you to listen. Ain't no wearing no suit and ties. Listen, even if they just wore a suit and tie from the waist up, just from the waist up, just from the waist up.
Matters pending before the court. So you're going to talk to me like I am the judge presiding, not like some person that you just met on the street or whomever. I don't know. But I'm giving you the instructions for how to attend court. They are the instructions for everyone who comes here. If you don't want to follow them, I don't know what to tell you. Now, I'm sure that in the beginning I said, I need everyone to remain seated, stationary, in an upright position, and ready to attend court. This is case number 164609001. The people of the state of Michigan versus Crystal Davis. The defendant is charged with 1 count of malicious destruction of a building, 1 count of assault or assault and battery. And today is the date set for a final pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people.
Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Crystal Davis. Ms. Davis, ma'am, please unmute and tell the judge your full name.
Good morning, Your Honor. Crystal Davis.
Today is the date set for a final pretrial conference. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, on behalf of Ms. Davis, Your Honor, I'm not certain whether the complainant was required to be present today. If that is the case, we would move for dismissal for the complainant's failure to appear.
Ms. Ritter? You're muted, Ms. Ritter.
Sorry, Judge. My note says that there was an arraignment on the bench warrant on May 1st of this year, and a final pretrial conference was set for today, but I don't have any notes that the court required the complainant witness to be present, so I will defer to the court.
Not if it was an arraignment on the bench warrant, I didn't.
I don't know what that means, an arraignment on a bench warrant. What does that mean?
Okay.
I mean, again, I don't have my notes, but that would, generally I would not have.
Okay.
And it's at 9:04. That means that your client has failed to appear probably more than once, and then I set it for 9:04, which would have meant a high bond if she didn't appear today.
Okay, so Judge, could we set up, I know it's a 2016 case. I don't know. I know that there were some efforts at an alternative dispute resolution when the case initially came about. We have an indication that that alternative dispute resolution has been complied with, and it was back in 2017, but Ms. Davis did not provide proof of that to the court. Could we have the matter reset for final pretrial conference to determine whether or not actually requiring the complainant's presence, and if the complainant is present, giving us an opportunity to still do the alternative dispute resolution?
So in 2017, that would have been under Giles or King. No,
yes,
it could have been under Archer. Who I don't know who was the judge back then.
I thought it was King.
That seems like it wasn't King.
But I don't, it may have been.
Right here, the one I was looking for. I found the one I like. I don't think I played this one. This our girl. This go back to old Tammy. All right, let's go. This is the one I like. This one I got a kick out of it. I'm gonna tell you, when you get into it, you'll see why. We ain't gonna be here long on this one.
Are you laying down in the bed? If you don't get yourself up, I will issue a bench warrant right now. I'm not accepting the plea. She's under jail time.
What do you mean? Because it's like you telling me I'm a mom and
you keep talking, she's gonna do more jail time. I need a contempt order, 20 days.
20 days.
Charmaine, just be quiet. This is what everybody was talking to you about.
I don't want her walking around because she's a danger to others. Oh, so she signed off? Bench warrant, get it for me. I'm not playing today. She gonna learn today.
Woo!
All right, so we have a plea ready for Walker. We have a plea ready
Did
for...
I do this one last week? Did y'all see this one last week, D? No? Y'all didn't see this one last week? It's the music gonna end up coming out. It fades.
Ms. Walker, I need to see you. Raise your...
The music fades away, D. Hold on. All right, here we go.
What is your client plead to the offenses before the court, Mr. White?
Count 1 and 5, she's pleading guilty, Your Honor. Other
All
counts
right.
to be merged.
By entering a plea of guilty to count 1 and 5, counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge with count 1. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge.
I don't want a trial.
I'm sorry?
I don't want a trial.
No, ma'am. You're giving up the right to have a trial in order to enter the plea.
Yeah.
All right, just listen. So by entering the plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to present evidence and testimony, to not incriminate yourself. And ma'am, if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status.
Now, this is the thing where it becomes the part of the Foolish Finance Friday. Is because now when somebody goes do a background check on you, these things come up. Not only do these things come up, it's one thing to have like a DUI, one DUI. It's another thing to have 3 DUIs or 2 DUIs and then other offenses under that. Because now people are looking at you like, oh no, you're a risk. I can't, you starting out with no trust. No matter how you try to slice it, they're gonna be like, oh no. Ain't no trust on that. Oh hell no. How many times she done been in jail? No.
Do you understand all of these things?
Yeah.
All right. Factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Also, it's my understanding that the victim, Miss Dominique Trimble, is on the line and wishes to be heard as well.
All right.
On February the 10th of 2022, an officer was dispatched to 2404 Summer Court Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia, where the incident did occur in Clayton County. At that time, the officer was responding to a domestic disturbance call. He met with the victim, Ms. Trimble, who advised, the officer initially observed that the apartment window was broken and shattered, and that he observed blood droplets leading to the front door. That time, the officer met with the victim, Ms. Trimble, who advised that her daughter, the defendant, Ms. Walker, had caused the damage.
Now, this her beating up her mom. She stole her mama car and she beat her mama up.
The victim explained that there had been a verbal altercation initially because her daughter had taken her car and had kept the vehicle until 4 o'clock in the morning. And then when she asked to use it again, she refused to allow her because she had kept the vehicle all night. The verbal altercation turned into a physical altercation as the defendant attempted to close the door on the victim, her mother, and then punched her mother with her right fist.
You gonna punch your mama? Girl, bye. even if I wanted to punch my mama, like I wouldn't punch. I'd be like, "Oh, you make me so mad. I'm tired of you." But I'm not gonna hit my mama. You hit your mama, child. Let me tell you. My grandmama kept a gun. Get out of line. She would hit you with a frying pan. She hit you with a cast iron skillet. And my mama came from that line. I need all my organs and limbs working the same way as I did when I entered this world. I do need no assistance with a broken limb from a cast iron skillet. I'm good.
Ms. Walker, I need to see you. You stay on. This your hearing. I need to see you the whole time. In fact, lower the camera so I can see your whole face. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. John VA.
Okay. The defendant.
Are you laying down in the bed? If you don't get yourself up, I will issue a bench warrant right now.
I'm laying down, I'm standing up. I'm leaning against the mirror. If I was laying down, I would have been way more comfortable. But
well, sit down somewhere, Ms. Walker.
Okay. So the defendant was attempting or continuing to swing punches in her mother's direction. At that point, her mother was able to restrain her to stop her from swinging, and then she called the police for assistance. The officer did observe the damage to the window and dents to the front door. Additionally, there was some damage to the victim's vehicle as well, and the officer observed, like I said, the damage to the window, the dents to the front door. Also observed large knot and small scratches on the victim's forehead.
Why does the mama have scratches on the forehead, dents and dings in the door? You done punched your mama? Like, girl, what is going on? And you took her car. That's her car. That ain't your car. You don't have no car. You ain't got no ride. You ain't got it, Sway.
And observed the damage to the vehicle that was caused by a green broomstick. And the officer was able to observe paint scratches, dents, and scuffs that matched the green broomstick. And the victim advised that the damage would.
Here's the bad thing about this, too. This shit on YouTube. This on YouTube. If I want to go look up Charmaine Walker and see who she is, if I'm feeling fancy and free and using social media, like some social media app that's gonna scrub all the social media for a trace back of who, whatever, and now they got AI that can go through and pull out video clips and stuff like that. She permanent.
It's done by the defendant, Ms. Walker.
Ms. Trimble, before I speak and before they give me the recommendation, does your daughter have any documented mental health issues or behavioral health issues? You have to unmute.
I'm sorry. No, when she was in school, when she was placed on IEP in school, they had her on a behavioral plan as well, but outside of that, no.
Okay, all right, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. John VA, recommendation.
She's like, I just let me know if this child's slow or not before. Let me know if she on the spectrum or she's slow before I make this decision. And I don't, let me know. I have no idea what IEP or IAP is. I have no idea. I don't know. I ain't never heard of it.
Yes, Your Honor, the state was recommending 12 months to serve 2 days. Credit for the time that she's already served. The balance to be probated with a fine of $300 family violence intervention program, 40 hours of community service, and no contact with the victim, Ms. Trimble. Counts 2, 3, and 4 would merge. Count 5 would be 12 months probation to run concurrent with count 1, plus any restitution that the victim was requesting. But I believe I understand that she's not requesting any restitution.
Okay. How old is Ms. Walker? How old are you?
21.
All right, Ms. Trimble, where's Ms. Walker living now?
She lives 3 hours away from me.
Okay,
in
good.
Atlanta. I live in Pooler.
Okay.
However, yesterday when I had spoke with the victim advocate, because she had asked me if I had wanted no contact, and I told her that's not what I wanted. I wanted to have contact because she has a son that I do have a relationship with that I would like to remain in contact with. So
see, she good. Let me tell you, my mama would be like, tell my grandbaby to call me when they get older. No, ma'am.
Nope, the no contact part. If my opinion matters in that part, the no contact part, I didn't want. I wanted to remain. I wanted to have contact because we haven't had.
Look at how the judge looking. The judge like, I'm so sick of hearing this shit all the time. Look at her face.
An incident with each other since that day.
All right, Ms. Walker, I'm gonna hear from your attorney and then we're gonna have a conversation. Mr. White?
Okay.
Your Honor, I just ask you accept the plea, Your Honor.
Ms. Walker, you're a mom, so you're gonna experience a lot of what your mama has experienced. And if you're, listen to me. If you allow your child to treat you,
it's not. That's not even.
Ma'am,
the stuff happen with parents.
you're here for whatever I say
I'm
you're
not
here
trying to
for.
do that. I'm trying to hear.
All right, I'm not
accepting.
accepting the plea. I'm not accepting the plea. She's gonna do jail time. If she takes a plea before me, she's gonna do jail time.
What do you mean? Because it's like you telling me
If
I'm a mom and
you keep talking, she's gonna do more jail time.
Tremaine, ma'am, please.
Ms. Val, Ms. Camille, I need a contempt order, 20 days.
20
Oh my
days
God.
for what?
Charmaine, just be quiet. This is what everybody be talking to you about. Just be quiet. Just listen to her and be quiet. Just be quiet. You're never going to like anything that everybody says to you. It doesn't matter.
No,
just
she
be
grown,
quiet
Miss
and
Trouble.
listen.
See, she grown. No, see, she gonna learn because she out here a single
learn.
mom.
I'm trying to tell you my side
Ms.
of the
Walker,
story.
you got your 20 days.
She's not asking you. She's not asking you for your side of the story. She's just asking for you to listen. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back on mute. I can't hear.
She about to get 20 days for direct contempt before the court. And this is why you're having the problems that you're having. Because she thinks she's grown and that she doesn't have to be responsible to anybody. But I will tell you that anybody who attacks their mother, takes their car, and then thinks that they don't have to listen to a judge who's trying to put them on the right path, that's a problem. She ain't even good. She ain't even fit to be out here in polite society. I don't want her walking around because she's a danger to others. I don't even think she should have her child. Because if she doesn't know how to act for somebody to benefit her, she can't be a good mom. And I'm just going to say it. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, so she signed off? Bench warrant. Get it for me. I'm not playing today. She going to learn today. If she can't control herself enough to listen while somebody is trying to talk about the behavior that got her before a judge.
Look at the mom about to get stressed out over this child that has beat you and stolen your car. Bench warrant, 20 days, bench warrant, sign her up.
And 2 days in jail, that's a problem for me. Because what I believe is this little sentence here, she's going to be a problem for probation. I'm not trying to give probation officers a problem. They got enough. So she's not probation eligible. Whatever sentence y'all come up with when she comes back the next time after this bench warrant, it's not going to be probation.
I'm sorry, Jess, because I wasn't trying to get in
No,
the
ma'am,
way of
it's not
what you were
you.
saying. I was just
But
telling her to
she's
be. I was just
grown.
trying to tell her.
See, the mama got a problem too. The mama can't shut up either. The mama can't shut up either.
Be quiet. I get it. I was just trying to tell her to be quiet.
As a mother, you're trying to save her from herself, but obviously that's not possible. But what she's not going to do is disrespect me or the process. It's not even about me, but it's about the fact that I sit in this role and I have a job to do. And she's not going to have a tantrum on this. She's not. No, ma'am. So there's going to be a bench warrant issued for her. She'll be picked up. You might want to put your name out there to take her child. And the next recommendation is either going to be a trial or she's going to take a plea with jail time, because I'm not satisfied with her being on probation. I don't believe she's probation eligible. I'm not going to put that on a probation officer. Because that kind of attitude, I get paid enough to deal with it. They do not. And if I'm not going to deal with it, I'm surely not going to put it on them. No, ma'am. So after she finished having her little tantrum, then she can figure out that I'm not playing.
Your Honor, she is back on.
My phone died.
I don't believe you.
Mr. White, you may need to step into a breakout room and explain to her what she needs to do in order for me to undo what I'm about to do.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because she's been held in direct contempt of the court.
If she can, because like I said, I'm not trying to step in the way of.
Mr. White, can I go into
Yes,
a
you
breakout room
are.
with you?
Why can't the mama be
She's gonna put
quiet?
you in a breakout room.
I will have her in contempt. You need to go. You going bench
I'm
warrant
not
for the
trying to
mama
step
too.
in the way of.
I get it, Ms. Walker, and I get what you're doing. Please don't misunderstand. I'm a mom.
No,
so
yes,
I know.
I'm not trying to step. I'm not trying to step in that way. You're right. And I'm not trying to step in the way of that. I'm not trying to step in the way of that.
Yes, you are.
But it's like, when it comes down to her, child, like I try to be supportive, and I try to. And
The problem is, Miss Trimble, is she's raising
sometimes she
a
can't get
child.
it right.
And
And sometimes she
Listen
can't
to
get.
her. Sometimes she can't get it right. No. She can get it right. Sometimes she can't get it right. Sometimes sounding like Bilal. Sometimes she can't get it right. No. Miss Trumbull need to go to jail too. Miss Trumbull need to go to jail too. Find the daddy, get the child to the daddy. Miss Trumbull need to go to jail too. Her and her daughter need to be sitting up in there with what was that I was looking at the other night? The chick, she was getting ready to they did a search of her stuff in her little case, and they's like, what's this for? She had a fireball. She's talking about, oh, you just lick it and I use that for my lipstick. And then she had this little she had some toothpaste or something like that and a pencil, and she break the lead off and she chop the lead, get the lead going inside the toothpaste, and that's what she used for mascara. She need to go to jail with her. That's what she need to do. The mama need to go to jail too. Dysfunction. It was her makeup contraband, yeah.
Right? And sometimes sometimes this happens. And she has the potential. She has the potential to get it right. And like I said, that's why I moved. That's why I had moved, you know what I'm saying?
Why did you have to move away from your child? You had to move because your child is unruly?
3 hours away just so I wouldn't be the support system or the go-to support system, because even when I do have him sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like I can tell when he misses his mom. I don't know. I've tried, you know what I'm saying, like as a parent, I've tried, and I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her
now though.
She's an adult, and I get everything that you're saying. But she's an adult, and she has to face some harsh consequences. The consequences being that if you act up like this, your child suffers. You might suffer a little bit, but your child is going to suffer a lot. That's the point I'm trying to make to her. Before she popped off, that was
before she popped off.
Point I'm trying to make for her. It is not about you anymore. It is about that little boy that you brought into this world that didn't ask to be here, but he needs stability. He needs somebody who's going to be responsible. He needs somebody who's not going to have a tantrum that's going to take them away from him, where she has to do time while he's out there swinging in the wind. That's the point I was trying to make to her before she lost.
I know that. And I know that. And that's what
No, it's not about you knowing that. It's about her knowing that. That's the problem. Don't nobody care about what you know. What does she know? What does she know? The guy in the car done had enough. I'm sure he has. Like, Jesus.
We try to tell her about, and it's like, and I tell her, a lot of stuff can be solved if you just shut your mouth. Because you don't have to say everything that comes to mind. There's stuff that I want to say that comes to mind, but I'm also old enough to know that not everything needs to be said. And that's what I was trying to say to her. I wasn't trying to get in the way of.
Oh, ma'am, I get you. I get you.
That's all that I was trying to say to her.
You were trying to save her from herself, but I get it. But Mr. White knows me, and he knows how I work. When she comes back, she'll be right. We're gonna work all of this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Mr. Arendado's plea. When Mr. White comes back with Ms. Walker, then we'll resume that one. Ms. Walker? Mr. White?
Your Honor, I believe Ms. Walker has something she wishes to say to you.
Ms. Walker?
I apologize.
Bullshit.
Ms. Walker, you will find that life will be very, very hard when you go forward the way that you're going. I know you don't think that because you feel like you know everything at this point and you need to say everything that comes out of your mouth. But I'm a whole judge and I don't get to say everything that comes into my head. I really don't. I have to censor myself so hard sometimes it's not even funny. Because there's a time and a place to say things. And sometimes when you're so busy talking, you're going to miss that nugget of information you need to get something better for yourself because you think you know everything. But there are people who have already walked the path that you're walking, and they can give you a little bit of help or give you a shortcut, save you a little bit of hurt.
And that's what I try to do at Women in Linens. I walk the path. I'm trying to give you a shortcut on how to get to be a multimillionaire. It's okay. You can go W-2, 1099, contractor, whatever, entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. Don't fight me. Just trying to give you a shortcut. I'm trying to help you keep money in your pocket. Make good decisions. Aristocrats, kings. We'll talk about it in the morning.
Time or energy, but you're not going to get that because you're so busy popping off at the mouth. First of all, it's rude. Second of all, you're raising a whole son. And if that's the way you're going to treat him, how to treat you, that's the way you're going to treat your mother, that's exactly how he's going to treat you. That is exactly what you're going to get back from him. Because that's what you're telling him. This is how we treat mamas. This is how we treat our mother. So you're going to raise a child who, instead of going out to conquer the world and getting better than you could ever imagine for him, he's going to be in an orange jumpsuit right about the time I'm ready to retire. Because you're the example he'll be following. You don't have a car. You need to use your mama's car. But instead of going at it with an approach that says, hey, mom, I appreciate you letting me use your car, a very valuable asset that if something happens to her car, she may lose her job. You could lose your job and your place to stay if you don't have a car. But instead of saying, hey, mom, thank you for letting me use your car. I'm going to need to use it again. So I put gas in it. I made sure I didn't leave any junk in it. I just want to show you appreciation for letting me use something that's very important to you. But instead, you abused it the first time. And then when she says, no, you can't use it this time, then you go berserk and spend 2 days in jail, leaving your child without a mama. Which seems to be easier for you because there is no decision I would make that would ever knowingly leave my child without me. I ain't going to jail for nobody because my children aren't going to be sitting there wondering where I am. And you think, oh.
Listen, in my head, I'm like, oh, big head, blockhead girl. Oh, big head, blockhead girl. Why you just can't listen? Oh, big blockhead girl. I could go on. You all can catch this one. Let me give you the name. Hold on, or this one.
They don't know. Kids not.
Let me give you the name.
Finally
Hold on.
tonight, CBS's Steve
Let me give
Hartman.
you the name of that one. Judge finds entitled brat in direct contempt. Um, that's the name of it. I'm gonna do 2 of these next week. Not this one. I got some hidden gems, but we're gonna talk about this.
Miss
right
Marva,
here. She's 60-year-old with 30,000 in debt, and she don't have no savings nor nothing for retirement. 60 years old, $30,000 in debt, and no retirement. So we're gonna talk about this because 62 is actually retirement. Full retirement can be 67 or 70 when you get the full. But she don't have nothing. So she banking on Social Security and hope that it don't run out. That's the only thing she could be banking on. If she has put into Social Security. Social Security is a trust fund. Social Security is a trust fund. So hopefully she put some money into it. D, let's wrap it on up. Another Foolish Finance Friday. You can see how, as young as 21, the foolishness has already started. Tadrika, this one beating up her mama, the other one being called up by his grandmama. I'm just telling you. We're gonna review some older people. I'm gonna start reviewing. I'm gonna start bringing up people from the ages of 55 to 75 with no financial savings. No financial savings. I got a ton of them. Fully fine. We're gonna do an analysis on them. We're gonna analyze. We're gonna start pulling out spreadsheets and saying what could they do so they can have something for retirement. That's what we're gonna do. Can present 50 that did a turnaround? Can present 50 that did? Yeah. Well, you know that couple Bigger Pockets. They was in debt and they turned it around from 50 to 60, and I think they got 1.2 million or something like that, maybe 2 million. I forget what their number is on Bigger Pockets. Let me see. Um, they reintroduced them again on Bigger Pockets. Because they were like, you know, people were just amazed at they was able to get how they was able to get go go from 50 to 60 years old with making that much money. Um, so I gotta find them. Let me see. Uh, 50. Yeah, here they go right here. How they went from broke at 50 to retire at 60. this group, how they went from broke
Okay,
at
let's start
50
with you.
and retire at 60, right? And they re-aired this, so you know, um, it's pretty cool that they had that story. So you can be at 50 and retire at 62. That gives you 12 years in the market, but those 12 years in the market, you could be working a job for those from 50 to 60 that's paying you maybe 200,000, right? Even 100,000. And over time you putting that money away, get your get your debt down, and you can make it, right? So you could retire still with 1 million or 2 million. It's possible, but you don't eat out. You don't do anything. You are focused on retiring. Now, I talked about this, and I probably talk about it again some more next week. But the average person, once they stop working, only lives 5 to 6 years after they stop working. So if you retire at 65, the rule of thumb is for black men, death comes to them between 66 to 69. For black women, is 76 to 80. So, you know, there's there there's something happening there. No one really wants to acknowledge that, but there's something happening when it comes to that. And whatever that is that's happening, uh needs to be addressed. Right? Needs to be addressed. All right. Well, y'all be safe. Don't go to Tammy's court. Or the other Tammy, I can get with. That other judge be like, sit up, act like you got some sense, like you at that podium. She is no nonsense. Y'all be safe.